today I am going to present my topic, which is replace temp with query, replace method with method object. I am Nasrat Jahan, ID 2255901061, and my partner is Mst.Labonno Rahman Uishi. Her ID is 107. I will talk about replace temp with query. So what is this? A refactoring replace temp with query is a refactoring technique used to remove unnecessary temporary variables. Instead of storing values in temp variables, methods or functions are used directly. The technique is mainly used during code refactoring. Refactoring means improving the internal structure of code without changing its actual behavior. Now the question is, why is it important? Sometimes programmers use too many temporary variables in a program. Although the program works correctly, the code becomes difficult to read and maintain. If we need to change the business logic later, it becomes more complicated. By using queries or methods, the code becomes cleaner, more reusable, and easier to understand. Now let us look at the Smelly code example shown in the slide. In this code, we can see several temporary variables such as base price, discount, and final price. These variables are only used to store intermediate calculations. The problem is that all the logic is written inside one function, so the method becomes larger and harder to maintain. If we want to change the discount calculation later, we may need to modify many parts of the code. This type of code is called smelly code because it indicates poor design quality. Now let us see the refactored or improved version. In the good code, the temporary variables are replaced with separate methods like basic price and discount. You can see basic price and discount. Here each method performs one specific task. The calculate price method becomes much smaller and cleaner. This approach improves readability because the code now explains itself through meaningful method names. It also improves maintainability because future modifications become easier. There are several benefits of replacing temp with query. First, it creates cleaner and modular code. Second, it improves readability and understanding. Thirdly, it makes debugging and maintenance easier. And finally, it supports object-oriented programming principles and professional software development practices. So in conclusion, replace temporary with query is an important refactoring technique that helps developers remove unnecessary temporary variables and improve software quality. It makes the system easier to understand, maintain, and update in the future. Thank you, ma'am. This is all about my part. Then now my partner will continue with this.
Hello everyone, myself Mst.Labonno ID 107, Section A. Today we are exploring the replace method with the replace method object, refactoring a pattern strategic solution for simplifying long and complex methods. Ultimately, this technique allows us to turn monolithic logic into a modular testable object. Significantly, we are improving the maintainability of our code base. So the core concept is moving from a bloated method to a dedicated common class. So what is the problem? The problem is the method is too long and complex. It uses a large number of local variables that are tightly coupled. Extracting sub-methods become difficult because you would need to pass these variables as numerous parameters. This long method smell leads to fragile code that is hard to maintain or test effectively. So what is the solution of this problem? Extract to the class, and second one is promote locals. So what is extract to class? Turn the long method into its own separate class. The name of the class should reflect the purpose of the method. For example, price calculator. And second one is promote locals, that is convert all local variable of original method into private field of a new class. This allows subject method to access them freely. When to apply? First one is excessive length, when variable is clutter and testability issues. Refactoring steps. First one is create a new class named after that particular method. Add a field for the source object and local for each local. Create a constructor to initialize this field. Move method body to a compute method. Replace original method body with object call. Benefits versus drawbacks of refactoring. Advantage are enables further decomposition into submethod. Second one is cleans up the original class by removing utility logic, improves SRP. So SRP is single responsibility principle. Considerations are increase the total number of classes in the system, adds a small layer of overhead or indirection, tight coupling if accessing private parent methods. So here is an example for a practical transformation of a price calculation that I am giving for replace of method object. Uh, so what happen before refactoring? As we look at the code on the slide, we can see a classic example of a design problem that frequently creeps into evolving system. Inside our order class, we have price method that starts out with several local variable like primary base price, secondary base price, and tertiary base price. The core issue here is not just that the method is long, spanning an extra 50 lines of complex math and business logic, but that all of these temporary local variables are deeply intertwined throughout that logic. When local variables are scattered everywhere like this, standard refactoring techniques like extract method become a nightmare because passing these variables states back and forth messy, unreadable method signatures. So this is the method object we are creating to resolve the clutter we saw previously. We introduce the method object. We take that complex logic move it into one dedicated class. In this case, we are creating the class price calculator, giving it in a single clear responsibility. Notice the structural shift. Those problematic local variables has been promoted to private instance fields by capturing original order object through the constructor. We maintain access all necessary data while keeping the execution state encapsulate within the new object. The real power of this pattern is that's our transformation summary. We are refactoring elements like host structure, local variables, submethod extraction. In host structure, the methods are original class method, and refactored state are new dedicated class. For local variables, methods are stack allocated scope, and the objects we are refactor private instance field. In sub method extraction, parameter passing is the methods, so we refactor it into easy direct. Thank you everyone.